Hello, everyone. Welcome to 96 Boards Open Hours, episode 80. My name is Robert Wolf. Today is November 30th. November 30th. We're going to representatives from UC today. But before we go into that, I have some announcements. And as many of you may have noticed, last week we did not have open hours, right? So the one day a year, for the most part, the one day a year that we don't broadcast anything is on Thanksgiving, USA Thanksgiving. So that happens to be, I think, the last Thursday or the third Thursday of November. This year was on the 23rd. And so we missed last week. But the week before and the week before, we had some pretty awesome episodes. One of which was from Timesys. We were joined from Timesys, and I'm going to share a blog that Sahaj actually wrote up here. It has all the resources you need in there, slideshow, the video from Timesys. There's a really cool webinar series that's going on right now. So if you want to check that one out, I would suggest clicking on the link and reading it up. Definitely a good episode to catch up on. Unfortunately, during that episode, I was having really bad connection issues. So yeah, anyways. We also had one right before that with Tyler Baker from Open Source Foundries talking about marine navigation system using Dragonboard 410C. We didn't write a blog about that, but you can go watch the video for this. This was episode 78, and you can watch that on YouTube, of course, right there. Now, since today, the last couple weeks, I've been pretty busy, and so you won't find a lot of things going on. You won't find a lot of things going on for me other than travel, unfortunately. But if you want to kind of catch up with all the things that I've been doing, I did participate in the Hackaday Super Conference. I attended there. It was a lot of fun, met a lot of people. I'll be releasing a blog for that very soon. And then from that attendance, there will be a hack chat hosted by Hackaday. We'll be talking about 96 boards. That's the hack chat channel there. If you want to participate, we'll definitely be advertising, or whatever you want to call it, on our social media to talk a little bit more about it. And you can participate in the hack chat. It should be fun as well. It's like a chatted version, only text. About 96 boards, and people from Hackaday will be participating. The other event that I participated in was the Embedded Technologies 2017 in Japan. It was in Yokohama. Lenaro had a booth. We had a bunch of 96 board stuff out there. It was a lot of fun. Got to meet some university professors. Got to meet a lot of industry partners. A lot of fun there. And again, I will also be posting a blog about that as well. I'll probably be talking about that next week. Okay, 6 minutes. We're ready. Joe, what would you prefer to be called, Bo or Joe? Because I know you have
Yeah, you
have
can.
two
You
names.
guys can call me Joe. Yeah.
Okay, Joe, perfect. Joe, welcome to Open Hours. Joe, you're from uCRobotics, right?
Yes, thanks.
Perfect. Wow, that's a nice looking robot back there.
Yeah,
What is that?
it's 3D printed.
Oh, a 3D printed robot. Oh, nice.
Yes,
Cool.
human
Well,
size 3D
so
printed.
human size too. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. So Joe, usually what we do is I think we want to know a little bit about you first. Who are you? What you do? Who you work for?
Yes. Hello guys. I'm Joe from uCRobotics, located in Beijing, China. So I'm now working for 96 board project in uCRobotics. I'm so glad to be here today to talk about Bubblegum, the C96 board today. So can we start? Or
No, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So we want to know. We thank you for introducing yourself. We want to know about uCRobotics. We want to know about Bubblegum. We want to know about everything you guys are up to. So let's dive in. You have a presentation, right?
Yes. Uh, I can share the screen.
Oh, did he go mute?
Can you see my screen now? Guys,
Did
can
I,
you
did I
see my
lose his
screen now?
sound or did everyone lose his sound?
I think
I
it's
can
only
hear
you,
him.
Robert. Yeah, we can hear him.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I have a topic today is multi-usage of Bubblegum96 board. So I see it's on my hand. Oh, screen. So I will talk about 4 parts. First, general introduction about uCRobotics, about Bubblegum96 board, and second, deploy ROSE robot operating system and a little demo, and third is TensorFlow installation and benchmark with mobile nets, and last is porting Ubuntu core. So let's start. First, the general introduction. Who is uCRobotics? Yes, we are a high-tech company with which is focused on intelligent platform, system integration, and development of embedded system, etc. And in the meanwhile, uCRobotics is a hardware manufacturer and software development partner of 96 board, which is, as you know, under the international standard of Linaro. So Bubblegum is a force intelligence development platform based on the Linaro stand, and which provides the embedded solutions, including 3D cloud printing, UAV data processing, intelligent robots, wearable devices, mobile desktop, OpenStack, Docker, AR, VR, etc. And we are also focused on open source communities. We upstreaming code, and also we join a lot of open source parties. Yes, this is the Blue Sky is IoT edition 96 board. I don't know if it is released now. The MCU of Blue Sky is RDA 5981, and also there was a Wi-Fi chip embedded. So
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me again?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that board is not yet announced, and so I've been talking to some people about this, but this is the first time I've actually seen it.
Okay. I will show you guys after this slide.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Actually, is the operating system supported by Blue Sky is Zephyr, Artist Red, Embed, and this is another IoT board called Oxygen. Have you ever seen that? No.
I haven't seen that one either.
Okay. It's Actions ATS 3503 and support double module. Double mode is BT audio and BLE. Okay, there is a small microphone on the board, so it supports voice user interface. So the operating system supported on this board is Zephyr, and what important is it's the first MIPI aux supported in Zephyr. It's MIPI aux.
Yeah, so it's not ARM, it's MIPS. Yeah.
Yes. This is our our 96 our C96 Bubblegum. So that's how this is what we talked today. It has actions S900 SoC. The CPU is up to 1.8, so it's very powerful, and it also embedded the Imagination Power VR G6230 GPU, and it supports OpenGL ES, OpenCL accelerates. So the HDMI output is 4K, Ultra 4K, and there is the USB 3 port, USB 2 port, and a micro USB port. So as CE spec, there will be 16 pins high-speed extend headers and 40 pins low-speed extend headers at the face of at the front of the Bubblegum. On the software side, it supports Ubuntu Core, Android 5, and Debian Gen 2, OpenSUSE Remix OS.
Yeah. So one of the things.
Yes.
One of the things I want. Can we go back to that slide? So on the high-speed expansion header, there's another USB. I had a question about this. Is the USB that's available on the high speed, is that another 2.0 or is that another 3.0 USB?
Yes, the high-speed extend header can pour out a USB 2.0. Yes.
Okay. And then one other thing is, let me see. What kernel are you on with this one?
Yes, it's 3.1099 for now. Yes.
Okay. And is there any work that's going into that right now? I mean, on anyone's end?
We are working on the new kernel. Yes.
Awesome. So I think it's probably a good idea that we kind of stay in touch on this so that, as things advance, we can keep talking and letting
Yes.
people know how it's going.
Yes, we're still working on that.
Cool. Yeah, that's a lot of operating systems available on this board. And I remember, what was it, in Lenaro Connect Bangkok, I was hanging out with Haitao, and I noticed Haitao just joined the call, but he was running Android Remix on the Bubblegum, and it was just it blew me away. I mean, there were so many cool things that you could do with Android Remix. And Android Remix is kind of like a desktop version of Android.
Yes.
Right? I mean, yeah.
Yes. Remix
Yeah.
is
So before.
a desktop of Android. Yes.
Yeah, and before ever knowing what Android Remix was, I got to play with it on the Bubblegum96, and I had a lot of fun with that. So I mean, it just that's a unique operating system that's, I think, as far as I know, only available on the Bubblegum96 to compared to other 96 boards.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, just wanted to ask some questions there. You can keep going.
Okay. Yes. For the software parts, we have already installed the robot operating system on Bubblegum, called Rose, right? So yes. What is a robot operating system? It's actually a flexible framework for writing robot software. It is a collection of tools, libraries, and conversions that aim to simplify the task of creating complex robot behavior across a wide variety of robotics platforms. For example, if you want to make a robot, you have a group of experts on how to create the map, and a group of experts to working on the navigation, and another group, they will focus on the using computer visions to find the small objects, and ROS was designed to specify for specifically for groups like this to calibrate and build upon each other's works. So that is ROS. These are the steps of install ROS on 96 board. First, you have to update your source lists, add your keys, and just apt install the ROS. In this part, you can choose any version like Kinetic or Indigo or other ROS versions. After you have installed the ROS, and you need to update the dependencies and set the environment and initialize the workspace. It's kind of easy, right? So this is our little demo on 96 boards with ROS. So it is called Android. It's a open source project. Using ROS to control 3D robotics. I don't know what is this. It's a spider or an ant. I don't know, but players can control the robots with keyboards or PS3 joys to make some moves like walk, attack, or any other specific moves. So there was a URL on the corner of the slides. You can clone the code.
Yeah. So Joe, this
Yes.
this slideshow, you shared the slideshow with me. Am I allowed to
Yes.
make it public?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So for anyone who's interested, I'm going to make sure that these slides are available in the blog that we write afterwards. So you'll be able to find all of these slides later.
Okay, that's great. Can we move on?
Yeah, of course, keep going. Yeah.
Okay. In
Got a
this
question
project,
here.
yeah, yes.
So, for interfacing the actuators and kind of thing for this robot, what are you using? Any kind of mezzanine?
Mezzanine boards of this project, you mean?
Yeah. Are you using any kind of
It
mezzanine boards?
actually no, or it used an Arduino board to control the motors. No mezzanine board.
So
Okay.
what are you sending the signals from? Are you so to the Arduino? You're using the Bubblegum for what main controlling
USB to
communication?
USB.
Okay, so
USB to
USB to
USB.
USB. Gotcha.
Okay. In this project, we can separate the hardware to two parts: 96-board parts and Arduino parts. So in 96-board parts, I think there will be three important things. It is client import and rows, corn, and serial node. And on Arduino, there will be a firmware that you need to flash to the Arduino. Yes. If when a user import the command to 96 board, and it will be sent to the ROS core, and ROS core will collect the commander and send to serial node, and serial node will push the commander to the Android firmware through USB. Yes. It's actually not easy. It's actually not easy. in software part, traditionally we just using serial command, yes. But in rows we use node. In software part, there will be separate to publisher and subscriber. In this project, client import is the publisher. It public the topics like and for speed, and for food, and for height, step balance, attack, say hello, or any other topics. And the Android firmware was the subscriber, and it subscribed the topics just the same as subscriber give a just the same as the publisher do, you know. It's the same topic, so that the commander will send to the right, how to say. So the commander will send to the right person. You can think this is a person. So the commander will send to the right person. You have any question here?
Well, so I mean, this is all basic MQTT stuff, right? I mean, if anyone's interested in brushing up a little bit more on that, you know, I think Bill Fletcher did an episode on that, also on OpenHours. Otherwise, there's a lot of good resources out there.
Yes.
Yeah. But there's a couple questions in the chat here, if you don't mind, Joe.
Yes.
So Sahaj asks, are you using a regular Arduino or a Mega ADK?
It's a regular Arduino. Yes.
Okay. And then I guess he says ADK equals Android Development Kit. And then Angie asks, does anyone know if Sophia uses ROS? Just curious. She's an interesting humanoid robot. Yeah, I know what Sophia you're referring to. The really is Sophia the really like humanoid looking one with the skin and everything? I think that's the one. I'm not sure, but that was the first robot supposedly. I was watching a bunch of videos that was endowed with sentience and given citizenship in Sweden or something like that. I'm not sure if all that's true, but I was reading a bunch of articles about that. It would be interesting to find out. I will definitely look into that, Angie. It's kind of like the robot that Joe has behind him. Just imagine covered in this really realistic skin and very creepy if you look too close. Sorry, yeah, keep going, Joe. You're good.
Okay. Yes. Compile Android as a iOS application is quite simple. You can just clone the code or copy the code into the workspace, and just one command can make, and it will do everything. Okay. Next, we have porting the TensorFlow on Bubblegum. I don't know if we are the first person to porting the TensorFlow on ARM64 ARC, but it's quite difficult. First, you need to install the dependencies which will be used to compile the TensorFlow, and you have to download the JDK and set up the environment and just compile. But the process was not easy. The platform is not satisfied, so we need to make a little tricky ways. So next one is a MobileNet benchmark. what is the mobile net? It's a efficient convolutional neural network for mobile vision applications. On the left hand on the left pictures, it's just a benchmark. On the left pictures, it will take more than 7,600 ms to complete the calculate, and on the right hand, it will take about 260 ms to complete the calculate. And the difference is we using OpenCL on the right hand, so the calculate will be more fast.
You said OpenCL?
Yes, OpenCL.
Yeah, that's still one of the things that Bubblegum, I think, is the only 96 boards with OpenCL enabled and running well. Unless anyone wants to correct me on that. I know Daniel's in the call.
No,
Or
that's
was.
the only one we've got, I think.
It's not anymore?
No, that is the only one we've got. I mean, Haitao 96
Oh, yeah.
others are being worked on, but they haven't been completed yet.
Yeah, because I mean, everyone, I think it comes up very frequently is OpenCL, we want it. And Bubblegum is the only one that has it. So anyone who wants to work with 96 boards and wants to work with OpenCL, Bubblegum's your board.
Let me roll back very, very slightly. That's for regular Linux. So if you're prepared to run Android, you can, I believe, get OpenCL running on the Dragon Ball 410C.
Yes,
for
yes.
regular Linux, Bubblegum is the only one we've got.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And maybe, actually, can someone kind of touch on this for me? OpenCL, what's so important about it? Can Joe or Daniel, or can someone just kind of like touch on this for me?
It can accelerate the calculation.
The calculation? Oh, so from what I understand, it has to do with graphics, right? And when you're dealing with or am I wrong? It has to do with graphics. So you're accelerating graphics, the calculation for graphics.
No, that's OpenGL.
That's
reverse.
OpenGL.
So OpenCL allows you to write code in essentially ANSI C, and allow it to execute on a graphics card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Graphics cards are good at particular types of calculations. If you can get good loop unrolling and you can do lots of stuff in parallel without data dependencies, then the sort of peak compute of a graphics card is very high indeed. So you can do certain types of mathematical operations very, very fast on a graphics card. And OpenCL is a way that you can connect those calculations back into kind of the stuff that the CPU can understand easily. The Dragon Board 410C does support compute shaders, which are, that's rubbish actually, the 820C supports compute shaders, which are slightly similar to OpenCL, except the calculation precision, the numerical precision is slightly different in the calculations.
So is it basically the same as GPU?
Yes, it's a form of it. So there's CUDA for NVIDIA cards. There's OpenCL is the open standard. I can't remember if AMD have their own standard or not. There is the SPIV intermediate language, which then helps you use OpenCL in a more portable, not more portable way, in a faster way. You don't have to put a compiler into the driver. But yes, they're all means to do GPU. And the other interface that's very common in this space is CUDA, which is specific to NVIDIA.
Thank you. No, so there's a lot going on there. And I mean, as you kind of switch between the 96 boards, you kind of see that, maybe one of them has something you need, one of them doesn't. And then, as everything pushes forward, hopefully it becomes, a little bit more universal. But for the moment, again, I'll go back to saying, if you want to work with OpenCL, Bubblegum's the board for now. So yeah, sorry, Joe, go ahead, keep going.
Okay. Our next part, we also porting the Ubuntu core on Bubblegum. So, what is Ubuntu core? Ubuntu core is a tiny transactional version of Ubuntu for IoT device and large container deployments. It runs a new breed of super secure, remotely upgradable Linux app package known as Snaps, and it's trusted by leading IoT players from chipset vendors to device makers and system integrators. So one word, Ubuntu Core is a tiny Ubuntu system, and it's super secure, and it's for IoT devices.
Yeah, something else to add.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I want to add one more thing to the Ubuntu Core discussion here. So Ubuntu Core, we did an episode on OpenHours several months ago with the folks from Canonical, and it like Joe says, it's a very kind of small version of Ubuntu. But if you wanted to kind of be running something similar to what would be classic Ubuntu, you can actually get the classic snap, and then you could run classic Ubuntu very similar to what you would experience on a command line version of Ubuntu through Ubuntu Core, right? And so while Joe keeps talking, I'm going to go get those videos. And the people who actually developed this came on the show and did a 3-part series. I've shared them before, but I'll share them again while Joe keeps talking.
Okay. There will be 3 parts to make the Ubuntu core image for Bubblegum, and there are OS snap, kernel snap, gadget snap, and using Ubuntu image tool, which is provided by Canonical to make the Ubuntu core image. Yeah, what is a gadget snap? Yes, gadget snap is a snap file which contains the booting files of the board. It contains like UENV file, which is the hacking files for uBootX, bootloader binaries, uboot binaries, and that is the UENV file. Like I say, UENV file contains the bootux, the kernel name, the kernel address, root file system name, but there was still a little bug on Ubuntu Core on Bubblegum. That is, root file system is downloaded from the Canonical server, so the name will change as the root file system updated, but the name we have written in the UENV file is not, it will not change. So when Canonical update the root file system and change the name, we have to change the name in UENV file manually. So I think that's a small bug for now. We still need to focus on that. Yes.
So I got a question. So is this U-boot support is different from what you are offering for the regular Linux distributions for Bubblegum? I mean, so the U-boot support you are using for Ubuntu Core, is this different from what you are giving for Linux distributions?
I'm sorry?
So so you have specified the uenv.txt file, the boot environment file, right? So this is not available in the traditional U-boot support for the Bubblegum96 board. So have you customized it, or?
Oh, it's not customed. UENV file can prevent this happen. You can just change the name or address or change everything in UEN file. You will not to recompile the uboot file, a uboot binary. Yes. So it's not custom size.
Okay, so the same support is available on the Linux for Bubblegum, right? So the same uboot support. What you are telling here.
Yes,
okay.
the same uboot. Yes. Next, the kernel snap. Yes, kernel snap contains the kernel source, and the Bubblegum96 board is Linux kernel version 3.1099, and you have to porting the app armor patches to the kernel. After that, you can use the snapcraft tool to make the kernel snap. But you know, in Bubblegum, on Bubblegum, we have to use Linaro GCC 4.9 to cross-compile the kernel. So in the old version of Snapcraft, it's quite difficult. You have to rebuild the soft link to the right version of GCC. But after the version of 2.31, Snapcraft can define the cross-compile tool. Yes, this is a Snapcraft YAML file. You can define which config you are using, the key configs, which device tree you are using. What is you know, app armor? App armor is a effective and easy to use Linux application security system. Is why we are using app armor in Ubuntu core, because it can make every applications running in its own site, its own space. In Linux, if you for example you download application, but it's really harmful, and when you run it, the system will fail. The whole system fail. But on Ubuntu core, it just can broken its own space, and other space will not broken. The files in app will not be shared, and even the temporary file. So that's why using app armor in Ubuntu core. That's our patches we have ported to Bubblegum kernel. And you can find the patches from kernel.ubuntu.com. Yes, this is the command for the Ubuntu core image to build the image file. In this process, tools will automatically download OS Snap from Ubuntu server, which you have selected. For example, stable channel or developed channel. You can specify the image size, which gadget snap you are using, which kernel snap you are using, and the output name. Which important here is the model assert. So what is a model assert? Yes, it's a file contains your authority ID, brand ID, and which is bounded with your Ubuntu One account. When you rejected the Ubuntu One account, you have to import your public keys to the Ubuntu account. So that if you are booting the Bubblegum with Ubuntu Core, you have to import your Ubuntu One account, and only the computer which you have imported, only the computer which public key you have import to the Ubuntu One can log into your board. No other computers can. So it's quite secured. I think that's all. You can find the source code on GitHub and find the more information about Bubblegum on 96board website, or you can contact us on 96boards at uCRobotics.com. So do you have any questions now?
So I have a few things I'd like to mention, but I'll open it up for anyone that's in the call. Does anyone have any questions for Joe here? That was a great presentation. Thank you very much. And I don't know if everyone heard before, but I will be posting that presentation into a blog summarizing this week's episode of Open Hours along with this video, of course. But are there any questions for Joe? No. All right. Well, keep them. If they come up, let us know. Also, I just want to remind everyone that if you have any questions, just generic questions about 96 boards, Coursera. I know that a lot of people join this call from Coursera, and by the end of this call, I do have some announcements for the course, but we'll save that at the end. So now, going into Bubblegum, I want to bring up Mani in just a second, who's been asking some of these questions. But Bubblegum, I've had a problem, a small issue with purchasing the board. So I've tried buying it. I want to make sure that we have all of the right links on the 96 Boards website. But if we go to the 96 Boards Products Consumer Edition, I'm going to share this link here. Let me see. Boom. I'm going to share this link inside the chat. This is the website that Joe was talking about. Buying it, I think that the translation for the, oh, got a phone call. Translating the purchasing and the pop-ups for the website. Is there any other place to buy this? I think there's an eBay link as well. Could you share that?
Okay.
Yeah, because we want to make sure. Oh, it looks like some of these things were changed. This is nice. Okay. So on uCRobotics. Okay, no, it's all available now through your website. I haven't checked it recently, so now you can get it on eBay. Perfect. So that's the 96 Boards website. The other question that I have here is you were developing a small little box for the Bubblegum. There were some images that were shared for me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. Yes.
So
you mean this?
I would like to talk. Yes, I would like to talk about that box a little bit. Do you have a second to talk about it?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, because I want to write a blog about it, but I was waiting for some more information, some specs, hopefully, maybe the STL files for the 3D print one myself. But is there any way you just let's hear about it a little bit, because it's like a built-in battery and everything, right? Little portable box.
Yes, it's a portable 96 board. There will be a battery inside. You can use these boards without charging for almost 24 hours. You can just plug in the HDMI and plug in the keyboard. You can use it.
So it's like turns your 96 boards into a little development box that you can just take with you, a little laptop. That's pretty cool. So I would like personally for you to share as much information about that as possible, as soon as possible. So when you start getting all of the bill of materials, or I don't know, are you going to be selling those? Actually, you probably don't want us to know about all the guts of it, right?
I don't know if it is open sourced for this 3D model. I don't know if it is open source, but let me check later if it is if
Okay.
it can be open sourced. I will write a blog about this, and I think everybody who have a 3D printer can make this box.
Awesome. No, that's good to know. Yeah, I was really excited when I got into the email thread about it, and I was like, I want one, But yeah, okay, cool. So Mani, are you still here, Mani?
Yes, Robert.
Maybe. Yeah. So hey, man, I wanted to give you a second to talk about some of the stuff that you're doing with Bubblegum because I know that you have kind of taken on some fun things around Bubblegum and on your free time, even at that, because you're enjoying it. But maybe you can kind of tell Joe kind of some of the things that you're working on with Bubblegum.
Yep, sure. So actually, I just wanted to upstream the kernel support for Bubblegum96 board. So for that thing, I got some input from great inputs from Daniel Thompson, and then I just started it with clock driver. So basically, I should have started with U-boot support, but I didn't do that. So I just started with the clock driver, and then I pushed out the patch set exactly 3 weeks ago, and then it's still under review. And then now I'm working on the pin control driver for Bubblegum96 board. So it's a quite nice board, and I don't want it to be running the age-old kernel. So because if you want to utilize the full potential of it, you need to run the mainline. So that's my aim, and hopefully in couple of quarters we will be getting the full mainline running on Bubblegum96 board.
Oh man, cool.
And everything is
Yeah.
done in my spare time, as Robert mentioned.
Out of the passion for the game, love for the game. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, so Joe, did you have any demos to show us? I don't know. I sometimes people bring demos. I don't know if you have that Android with you or if you want that robot behind you to wave at us. Oh, did I lose sound?
It's not finished yet.
Oh, okay.
We want to put the bubblegum inside, and the camera can find person and wave his hand.
Oh, nice. So, there was a robot I think it was a company that was purchased by SoftBank. The robot, I forgot what it's called. It rolls
Boston,
around. You know which one?
Boston Dynamic.
I don't know if it's the Boston Dynamic robot. It is, let me see, I'll show you right now. It's it's not as real looking as that, I don't think. Let me see, it's right here. I'll show you. It's this robot. Let me see if it'll even show up. You know that one?
I think.
And it waves.
In Japan.
Yeah, it's in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was roaming around my hotel, and it was just like waving at people and asking what country you're from and stuff. Yeah, interesting. But it would be much better if it was running on a 96 boards. So please keep going and get that bubblegum in one of your robots.
Yes. We're trying
Yeah.
to do that.
That'd be awesome. Okay, so moving on, we're kind of coming on to the top of the hour here. I want to prompt anyone for any more questions. This is your opportunity to unload anything you have regarding uCRobotics, Bubblegum, any of those other two boards that were mentioned, and get your questions answered by the man himself here, Joe Dong, and I think Haitao is on the call too. If something came up that Joe couldn't answer, Haitao might speak up. I'm not sure, but anything at all. Otherwise, you have a way to get a hold of him, which is 96boards at uCRobotics.com, right? And we'll share the slideshow. So I'll give anyone some time. All right. Good. All right. Well, then, Joe, what we're gonna do is oh, Mani, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just want to give some credit to Andreas Faber of OpenSUSE. So he was the guy who pushed out the initial SOC support and board support for the Bubblegum and S900 SoC from Action Semiconductor. So I'm actually extending his support, and he's also reviewing my patches and all. So I just want to give some credit to him. Yeah. Thanks, Andreas.
Nice. Andreas Farber. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah. So thank you very much. And Joe, do you have any last things you want to say? Any last words before I go into the closing announcements or go into closing out the show?
Yes. Actually, we are still working on Bubblegum. We never give up it. Yes, this is Bubblegum, and we have already support the AI Starvision MIPI adapter. Yes, for the CSI camera. Still, we have a lot of work to do, and I hope the community can help, can do it together and make the 1964 community more colorful, powerful. Yes, that's my hope.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I think that's a really good hope, because that's what we want as well. Hearing that the Bubblegum, so you are also working on enabling the various mezzanines as well. So the AI Starvision works now with Bubblegum?
Version 1 is now working, but
okay.
Version 2, I still working on that.
Awesome. So I want to kind of, Joe, if you're ever, around the 96 boards documentation, let us know these things. Open up an issue, and so that we can help get these guides and any sort of information out to the community and out to the public, so that we can make sure that people are aware of these things.
Yes.
I think that's an important thing. If you throw up an issue, then we can, either get it into the documentation or, get a blog written and then close the issue out, of course, at some point, but at least get people knowing about it.
Yes, of course.
And then you have Mani working on some stuff with Bubblegum, and you have hopefully some other people out there that will grow some interest after this show or after some of our future blogs and collaboration.
Yes. Thank you.
All right,
guys.
No, yeah, yes. Thank you. So thank you, Joe, for joining us. Thank you for joining the show and spending, your valuable time here talking to us about uCRobotics and everything that's going on there. I hope that maybe you stick around for a couple minutes after we turn the recording off. We hang out for some after hours. Not hours, we just call it after hours. It could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour, whatever. But to just hang out and talk, if that's okay. You got an extra minute or two?
Yes.
Okay, great. So then closing announcements here. I want to just mention Coursera really quickly. Coursera, we've been talking about this for the last couple weeks, maybe, or a month. We had Simon Fong in a couple weeks ago to talk about some of the renovations, but we've come up with a date, and I'm really trying to make sure that this is the date that it releases. We have Course 2 and Course 3 being renovated. We have capstones being changed, and we have some of Course 1 that is being changed. Now, December 18th is the set date for the rollout. So for anyone who's participating in Coursera, anyone who's taking the UCSD IoT Internet of Things course with the Dragon board, you can go in there and to be honest, a lot of the things now with the unifying the 96 boards, a lot of these things can be done across 96 boards. So while the course is set for Dragon Board, you can probably even do a lot of the exercises with Bubblegum. You can do a lot of the exercises with High Key. So you can, mix and match these if you don't necessarily have a Dragon Board. Yeah, so there you go. So Carl says, look forward to redoing it maybe with a Bubblegum. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that's our goal, is definitely getting these materials out to you. There will be repositories available now, so we're trying to make this even more united and more reducing even more of the fragmentation. The repositories will be available through 96 boards. So UCSD, the UCSD developers and students are working with 96 boards to make sure that the materials are available through 96 boards. All of the course material will be, and also something, Carl, that you might appreciate is that we're going to have a dedicated person for the Coursera forums. Okay, so that should also help kind of make things a little bit, easier for people who are there. One dedicated person for sure, and multiple dedicated people there off and on. So December 18th, keep your eyes out. Last thing, I want to share the community forum, the Ragnar forum as we call it. And this is if you want to earn community points. You can go there, fill it out. Every now and then, we've done one so far, well, kind of two, but one so far, where we've delivered a bunch of swag. Sorry, the code is OpenUC, and if you want to fill that out, we delivered a bunch of swag. Ragnar won that one, and then the other one we did was for a ticket or a badge to Lenaro Connect in San Francisco. Sahaj Sarup won that one. So that's it. Great. Now, Carl actually brought up another question here. It's off topic, but any board coming out with Bluetooth 5.0? Not that I'm aware of. Unless someone else knows something in the call, like Daniel might be the only person who would know something that I don't know about on that. Bluetooth 5.0, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, no, me.
Okay. So one other announcement that I want to kind of hit on here is 96boards.org. For anyone who is interested in keeping in touch with the OpenHours people, you can join us on IRC, which is IRC hashtag OpenHours or hashtag 96boards. And last but not least, and nope, never mind. That's not something I can announce yet. Perfect. Okay, that's it. Closing out one more time. Joe, thank you very much for joining us. uCRobotics in the house. Anyways, episode 80. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll move on into after hours. So I hope you join us next week. Surprise session. Keep your eyes on OpenHours or 96boards.org/OpenHours to find out what's happening next week. All right, turning the recording off. Thank you.